Assalamu alaikum, family. Welcome to the Sajdah Morning Coffee Talks, where we talk about life, love, and business. And we all snuggled up over here in snowy Chicago. And I'm in my commemorative Elijah Coin sweatshirt that is now 40% off. Be a friend, tell a friend, and we'll be right back. And I'll see you all on the other side of these commercials and a beautiful prayer.
O Allah, guide me among those whom Thou hast guided aright, and preserve me among those whom Thou hast preserved, and befriend me among those whom Thou hast befriended. Bless me in whatsoever Thou dost grant me, and deliver me from the evil of what Thou hast judged. Surely Thou judgest, and none can judge against Thee, and he whom Thou befriendest is not disgraced. Blessed art Thou, O Lord, and exalted be Thee above what they set up besides Thee. I bear witness, nothing deserves to be served besides Thee, and I bear witness that Muhammad is Thy servant and apostle. Amen.
Assalamu alaikum, family. Welcome to the Sajdah Morning Coffee Talks, where we're talking about life, love, and business. How's y'all Saturday going? I got me some good hot coffee this morning. I almost drank all of it. Waiting for just to play the commercial to get in the room. Y'all be late lately, so I have to play like an extra commercial. Man, it's snowy over here in Chicago. It is it's no joke. It's supposed to snow all day today, literally until 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Literally. So I don't know how that's going to affect the roads. Usually they won't wait. My philosophy is when it snows all day like that, you get out and get it like at some point in the middle of the day. And then that way tomorrow you don't have like these big mounds to shovel, but it just depends on you. I think today, while it's a little dusty, get your blower or the broom and get it out a little bit. Just something to do. You know what I want to talk and I don't know. I'm not going to say that. I was going to say, I don't know where this comes from, but I know it comes from us not knowing our history. And then even once we know our history, not necessarily respecting it and recognizing the purpose of history in terms of helping us to recognize patterns. But I want to talk about betrayal and opposition. And this actually was not something I was going to talk about, but it came to me this morning and I said, let's take some of the charge off of betrayal and opposition. Okay. So welcome in the chat. Welcome. I see you, Brother Lamont. I see you, dress code. Welcome. Walaikum salam. Commemorative Elijah coins, sweatshirt. They are now on sale. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, weekend sale, whatever you want to call it. But they're 40% off. They were $90, 40% off. So you do the math. So all you have to do is go to ElijahMuhammadHouse.com. Scroll down to the bottom. You'll see the shirt. Click on it and get yours while supplies last. This is hopefully our blowout, and then we'll be issuing some others. Some of y'all who tell me that y'all collect all of our shirts don't have this one yet, but it's kind of cool. It's the coin on the front of, and it is kind of, stand up so y'all can see it. It's blinged out here. Nice warm hoodie, especially for a day like today. Yeah. So anyway, let's talk about betrayal and opposition. Do you realize that no great empire, no great nation, no great leader in this world, in the mind of Yaqub, nothing great rises up and becomes great without opposition. I'm going to say it again because I may not made that very. In the mind of Yaqub, if you know, you know, no great leader, empire, nation, country, people, entertainer, nothing without opposition. Opposition is part of the fabric of life in this mindset, this timeline that we're living in. So I did a couple counseling sessions yesterday, and I won't call them coaching sessions. I won't say counseling sessions, coaching sessions. You all know I'm an emotional intelligence coach, Usually we're talking about business advisory services, how to help you get your business off the ground, how to coach you. I'm doing a special right now. If you buy one session, you get another session for free. All you have to do is go to book.sajdahwendymuhammad.com or email me, mindofanentrepreneur@gmail.com. Go to the website. You can go into the contact me section. There's lots of ways to reach me. artandscienceofbusiness.com. Go into the comment section, say, hey, I want a coaching session and you want extra for free. But everybody's talking about opposition. Everybody's tripping on betrayal. Everybody's tripping on somebody coming up against them and somebody not supporting them. Nothing great has ever happened to anyone without opposition. And let me, I'm going to sum this up. I probably don't even need to talk about this for the whole 45 minutes with this summary. Once you understand Allah's divine hand in your life, in your business, in your family, in everything that you do, once you understand that, and you will understand that the opposition is also a part of that plan. Let me say it again. Once you and I understand the divine plan, okay? Once we understand, no, we don't even got to understand the divine plan. We just got to understand that Allah is the best of planners, and that plan is always working in our life. Then we will understand the benefit of opposition, how we can learn from opposition, and how sometimes opposition is like, that parable, I think it's in the Bible, where there's a donkey in the ditch and they just keep throwing dirt on it. And then pretty soon the dirt gets so high that the donkey just walks right up out the ditch. Trust me, you never know how that opposition is helping you to get set up for your win. But if you start crying, kicking, screaming, pushing against, woe is me, why they hating on me, why is this happening? And then I talked to somebody today, and they told me I could tell a story, but I'm not going to tell their whole story. But they literally was kicking and screaming and crying like a child because of some opposition. And I said, stop for a minute. And once we got through the emotion, we could see how that opposition helped them. I don't care what the opposition is. It could be a divorce. It could be that you got fired. It could be that your best friend went and told all your business. It could be any of the worst things you could ever think of. If we put it all in perspective and understand that Allah is the best of planners, and that opposition 9 times out of 10 is being used to push us towards greatness. You know why we stunt our growth? Because we start figuring out how to stop the opposition. We're going through a divorce. We want to stop the divorce. We don't want a person no more, but we want to stop it. We don't want to go through it, because going through it means growing through it. And it may hurt, it may be painful. We don't want to do that. On the other side of that tragedy is always something great. You could get fired. You could say, well, I'm just resisting getting fired. And how many entrepreneurs I've met that got laid off or fired that now have multi-million-dollar businesses? Think about that. It's because a lot of times we put so much negativity and so much resistance into trying to hold on to something that really is meant to just be a lesson, that we stunt our growth. growing through it. Some of us spend a lifetime, an entire lifetime, pushing against and trying to stop something from happening that we need to happen in order to grow to that next level. Haters and backstabbers, they've been around since them people came up out the caves and before. They've been around. That's going to happen. You're going to get that. You can't be saying, well, I want to be, I had a client that said, I really want to be well known. I want to be out front. I want to be seen. You know, they were just like, look, this is what I want. I said, well, understand, guess what comes with that? People going to talk about you. They're going to talk about your skin. They're going to talk about your weight. They're going to talk about your hair. They're going to talk about your teeth. They're going to talk about your clothes. They're going to talk about your husband. They're going to talk about your wife. They're going to talk about your children. That is what's going to happen if those are the things that you want. And she was like, huh? I said, yeah, that goes with the territory. It goes with the territory. To go someplace and a lot of people know you, or a lot of people recognize you that you didn't think recognized you. I remember when we were all over the news fighting the ordinance fight for house museums here in Chicago. And I went down, I was living downtown. I had a place downtown at that point, and I was commuting from Maryland to Chicago, and I was staying downtown. And I went into a building, and the doorman looked at me and said, right on, sister. And I was like, wow. I thought I was incognito. I went into the building that I was living in at the time, and the doorman and two other brothers were standing there at the door, and they said, that's what I'm talking about, sister. Yeah, fight for. I literally just walking, so many people recognized it and said something. I didn't use like that. So I'm saying all that to say that there's something that comes with the territory, because then what happens? That those same people that today might be saying, right on, sister, tomorrow might be talking about you. They might be talking about who they see you with, how you looking. If you make a mistake, that's part of what happens. If you make a decision to do some heavy lifting in this community, whether it be in the world of business and medicine, whatever it is, you're going to get talked about. You're going to get opposition. You're to be judged by your enemies, not by your friends. You're going to have people that are right up in your face who turn around. I call them horses. That turns out to be a Trojan horse, because you thought it was one thing. When you cracked it open, something else jumped out. That's real. Part of in business, especially at this phase in business that we're in, is understanding where to place people in relationship to your goals and in relationship to your inner circle. So when you meet someone, I think sometimes we immediately, especially when the person is a good negotiator. Here's another thing that happens. Some people are very narcissistic. They will see you and automatically have a certain level of competitiveness towards you, but then they'll start to try to make it seem like there's something between the two of you. And sometimes we fall for it. We pull that person right on into the inner circle. Too soon, too quick, too much. They at your house, y'all kicking it. And then you look up and you're like, wait, I thought we was cool. And then you find out they playing both sides. They type with your enemy, or they tight with somebody that ain't tight with you, and you can't really expect a lot of them because you probably shouldn't have pulled them in so soon. They should have been in one of the other concentric circles. And then if you found out that they were in like the 5th concentric circle, you found out that they was a Trojan horse, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. It's when you let them all up in your face. And sometimes they will try to feign brotherhood, sisterhood. They're going to say it. They're going to do it. That's their job. The question is, as a general of your own army, what do you do? What do you do? So I want us to, let's stop thinking that opposition is all bad. Let's stop thinking that opposition's going to go away. If we want anything great, if we want to achieve, if we want to push against thousands of years of history, somebody's got to do the heavy lifting. Maybe you're kicking and screaming because you ain't the one. And that's okay too. Maybe you've gone as far as you can. Maybe you just really ain't into it like that. I tell people all the time, the things that I'm into, like I'm to them for real. And so you can't come into my circle and try to play, let me compete, let me try to do this, let me copy, because you're going to run out of oxygen. The best thing to do is if you're into it, but maybe you're not as into it as I am, we can partner up. We can work on some things together. But you're not outpace me because my spirit and my energy comes from the source. Literally. Where the things that I do, God gives me things about them, whether it be in the middle of the night, whether it be just looking, I could look this way and all of a sudden, boom. Not saying that to be braggadocious. I'm saying that to us as leaders. Don't fall into that trap. Sometimes you're in the throes of your struggle. Sometimes you're over focusing on opposition. You've made a God out of your problems. And then somebody comes along and they got that one little thing about them that you wish you had. That one little thing about them that you don't feel like they deserve. Because maybe they ain't all that. And then you start focusing on moves that are either in response to, position to, or an attempt to outstep that person that is not your competition. The competition is you. What's inside of you that made you want that person? What's inside of you that made you insecure to the point where you felt like that person didn't deserve whatever it is that you think they got? What is it in you that caused you to see that person in that way? What is it about you? Position that you got to focus on. That's where we got to go. What is that? What did I feel? And I'm going to tell you a trick. When you start, if you're a person that struggles with that, if you're at that stage in your development, and it's okay, this is no judgment zone here. Go deeper into your gratitude and go deeper into giving. Sometimes you can give that stuff up out of you. What do I mean by that? Maybe you got to force yourself to support. Because oftentimes what you're pushing against is what Allah wants you to see. So that person that you don't like, that person that you think don't deserve what they got, that person that you think that you got a problem with, sometimes Allah wants you to see it. Sometimes Allah wants you to face it. It may be a recognition of what you're not doing. It may be a recognition of what he don't want you to do. But facing it, looking at it, should be what you should be considering. And if you have opposition, let me tell you this. It's all just a math problem. And it can be solved if you let the emotions dissolve and you think. The Quran teaches us that there is nothing No burden that Allah has given us that we can't carry. You can carry the burden of position. You can carry the burden of them people hating on you. You can carry the burden of these people talking about you. You can carry the burden of them looking down on you. You can carry the burden of them thinking that maybe you don't deserve what you got. You can carry the burden of them thinking you're fat. You can carry the burden of them thinking you're ugly. You can carry the burden of whatever it is, you can carry the burden of that. And if it's something in that burden that you need to fix to make it either go away or a little bit more manageable, you can figure that out. You can problem solve. You can handle that. Stop being so afraid of opposition. We got to get to the point where we don't really care as much about what people think as we do. We're way too fixated on that. And this is the gift that Allah gives you. You start to dial back from some of this type of behavior that we're talking about. You can see things so clearly. Sometimes I watch people's business moves. I can look at the setup of something and I can tell you the mindset of the person who set it up. Sometimes we don't realize that. Do you know in your business, just how you do things, you giving away what your strategy is? So you got to understand what part of your strategy you want public and what part you don't want public. See, because that's sophisticated enemy see you. The amateur one, that little one you trying to impress, they don't matter. I also had a coaching session with someone about pricing, like how to price goods and services. Some of us, we overprice because we're so insecure. We're so busy trying to protect something that we don't realize that sometimes giving it away is the best antidote. It's interesting. Try it out. Sometimes just give it away. Sometimes offering a free broadcasting is going to get you more than if you charged it. We had a money psychology marathon Saturday, and I was watching the numbers throughout the course of the day. There was somewhere on average about 500 that really kind of stuck with it. At some points there were more, some points there were less, but we went from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And what is important to me is that we got the information out, that we did what we could to reach as many people as possible with the information, talk to them about the book, talk to them about the workshops that I do, talk to them about the coaching and consulting that I do. That was really, really important to me. So if that was the goal, to get that message out there, to get us to start thinking about our relationship with money, then I'm going to reach more people 9 times out of 10, putting it out the way we did. Because to get someone to commit with funds on a holiday, let's say to get somebody to pay $24.99 or $124.99, $424.99 to hang in there with us all day on Thanksgiving, we probably wouldn't have gotten that many people. But would we have gotten that average of around 500? And that's a good number. I was saying no, because so-and-so, they get $1 million and they get this and that. Listen, here's the other thing. I had a client that built her page up to about 100,000 followers. She was a bodybuilder and a model. And so for the most part, people were coming on there to watch her look at her body for the most part. And then she started trying to sell stuff. She had some products she was interested in that she wanted to sell. And she couldn't understand. She said, I can't understand why I'll go live and I'll have, several thousands of people on there watching me going live, watching me lifting. And then when I say, hey, buy this bodysuit or buy this weight or whatever, she goes, I mean, less than 100 would buy. And I said to her, I said, because you've trained your followers to look at you. So instead of training your followers to look at you and having 100,000 people looking at you, you may want 500 that are involved in your program that can become potential business partners, people that you can work with. And she's mortified by that because she's so married to the large numbers. I said, but the large numbers aren't serving you. You're not converting those large numbers. But if you break it down to 500 active followers, excuse me, who are going to buy your fitness programs, who may pay you $9.99 a month, who are going to buy your t-shirts and your workout gear, 500 people. I said, let's look for those. Her $9.99 a month is more than what she ever got when she had 100,000 people just going on there to look at her. And I said, the 100,000 is a byproduct, and you may be able to convert them at some point, but focus on the 500 who are active. Make sure you got your database. Communicate with those people. Give them fitness tips every day. Talk to them. Really nurture them. So when you have an event, you got those people who come. And then when you build a relationship with those 500 people, in turn, go and tell another 500. And next thing you know, you're back up to your 100,000, but you've trained 100,000 people to look at you. So they're just going to look at you, look at your muscles, scroll. You're not able to find your authenticity. What's authentic about you is your workout journey, how you went from being 50 pounds overweight to now you're into fitness. You have all these products, you have these diets, you have all these things you've tried. You really truly are an influencer, but you're trying to influence 100,000 people. And maybe we need to start with influencing 500. So I say that because when you're doing this type of work, we're not, if you're a singer or an artist, I would give you a different set of advice. But when you're doing this type of work, where you're trying to impact people on a long-term basis, life-changing basis, then it's a different approach. Okay? It's a completely different approach. Thank you all in the chat. Harry Hooven, thank you so much. All right. Any questions before we go out today? Don't ask me about this Chicago weather, because all I can tell you is that it's going to snow all day. That's what I heard. But I felt that. Did I tell y'all that at one point I thought I'd be a meteorologist? I was taking these meteorology classes in college, and I just really loved it. But I realized, like, what am I doing? I'm not going to be no meteorologist. So I know a little bit about the weather, and I could tell this week when we were in those mid to high 50s and that it was going to drop down to the 20s. I said, we're going to have a storm, because you get that hot and cold air mix flowing through the jet stream. And then my brother was telling me that there was an earthquake in California. And I said, then that storm is going to travel here in this way. And you could literally see it coming. I talked to relatives in Nebraska, and they like, look, this is what's happening. You could see it coming. And I knew it wasn't going to die down, because our conditions, because sometimes when the weather travels on the jet stream, it'll die down by the time it gets east. But I knew it wasn't going to die down because we had the right cocktail for a nice little storm. And this ain't no lake effect. This is going to be real, real, real snow. But Let's hope that it ends in time enough so that they can get the streets together, so people can travel. I know a lot of people want to travel Sunday and Monday. So may Allah bless each and every one of you with safe travels. Hope you enjoyed your family, and whatever you're moving around to do it safely, do it with love. Remember, on this Black Friday weekend, buy black. Do something with a black person. Get y'all's commemorative Elijah Coin sweatshirts. Go to ElijahMuhammadHouse.com. Scroll down to the bottom, click on the sweatshirt, get your sweatshirt. We got 24-hour post office around here, so we get them out to you right away. We don't play about our orders. We got coins that are still available, although the coins aren't on sale. The coins are a value-driven item. If y'all been studying copper lately, y'all better get these copper coins. Do you know how valuable copper has been throughout our history? Come on now. What else we got? We got the book. That's the QR code for the book. You can get that right now. But there's a lot of ways over here that you can buy black and you can support us. The shirts and the coins we distribute ourselves. So that's a truly buy black adventure. The shirts are the sweatshirts are 50%, 40% off, and the coins are their regular price because holding the value of the coin. Okay, family, listen, I love you all. I wish each and every one of you more goodness than you've ever experienced or imagined. I pray that whatever you touch, whatever you come across, that it is blessed. I pray that whatever problems or challenges that you're having, that you can just let them melt away and that you don't have to be burdened by them ever again. I pray that your relationships in your family, in your business world are blessed. I pray that your home is anointed with energy. I pray that the food nourishes and heals your body, whatever you're eating, that you're choosing the right foods. I pray that your family is protected and blessed. And I pray that you feel confident and certain with whatever it is you showed up on the planet to do. That's my prayer for you today. Look, I'm a praying sister, so you call me, I'm gonna pray for you. You know how many people, let me say this. I was talking to somebody the other day and they said that they never pray for anybody else. I was like, what? They was like, no, I never even think about praying for nobody else. I was like, wow. And then they said, I would never even tell anybody that I was praying for them. I said, oh, okay, well, I don't know what to tell you, because you come around me for 5 seconds, I'm praying on you. Whether I tell you I pray over you or whether I just pray over you because you're in my presence, I'm going to do it. That's the power of prayer. Okay, family, love you all very, very much. Be a friend. Tell a friend about the sale we got going. Visit us online. Oh, the other sale is the coaching sessions. Buy one coaching session and you get another one free. My schedule is opening up for the winter. Okay. You go to booksajdahwendymuhammad.com. You can go to any of the websites. Just put in the comment section, hey, I want a coaching section. If you can't remember the email address, you can't remember the website, y'all know all my sites. Go in there, say, hey, I want a coaching session. If you buy one, you get another one for free. We'll send you a link, get you set up as soon as next week. All right. May Allah bless you. Love you, and love you. Wishing you more goodness than you've ever experienced or imagined. Sending you healing energy, sending you the energy of love. And may the universe just rain down its blessings on you, no matter where you are in the world. Peace and blessings. Don't go anywhere.
I have received so many pleasures, so many very good to look at, whether you own them or not. It's a pleasure just to look at such presents. Why, I have never witnessed so many presents. I think I have to build me a house for present. This shows what Allah can do for you and me if we believe in Him.
There is nothing that we could not accomplish in the name of God. You know what your problem is? You don't have even a worthy goal to strive after. I'm going to give you an assignment today. Here's an assignment. Is there something you want? Do you want something? Something that you want, but you have not been able to get it? Huh? Close your eyes. Do you see it? Whatever it is that you want, first envision it. You got the picture. Do you see it? All right, now the question is, you have to claim what you see. I claim this. I claim it. I believe with all my heart in the name of God that I'll bring what is in my imagination into reality. We're going to bring it back like it never was. I see in the dome the name Allah written in Arabic. But I can't just dream, I gotta go to work. How do you bring it into concrete reality? First, without faith, you can't work the vision.